Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
So, as you all know, that we are going through the 9.9 ways.
I can't hear your voice.
You can hear the voice?
Hear your voice.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can. I can clearly listen to your voice.
I think some people are unable to
Not yet.
hear. Can you hear, sir? Brother Sivadas, can you hear now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we are going through the 9 ways of devotion, 9 paths of devotion. I think so far we have covered Shravanam, Mananam, Shravanam, Vishnu Smaranam. I think we have gone up to Pada Sevanam, if I remember correctly. Sister Kalyani, can you advance the slides, please? So we are in Vandanam now. I think we are in Vandanam. I think there was a request about Ananya Bhakti, but we'll circulate the material and discuss. I think that's better than me attempting to do something. So we'll go through Vandanam, and I will ask Sister Kalyani to read, please. Sister Kalyani, please go ahead.
Vandanam. Akrura is an illustrious example of a devotee who sanctified his life by constantly prostrating before the Lord and offering obeisance to him with humility and purity. Vandanam does not merely mean folding the palms together and offering salutations. It means offering to the Lord all that the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, the sense organs, and the organs of action, do in a spirit of total surrender. Akrura worshipped the Lord in this spirit of total submission to the divine will. Hence, he could get a vision of Vishnu everywhere.
Thank you, Sister. So, Sairam, everyone. So, Swami is talking about Vandanam, and he has given the example of Akrura, and who prayed to the Lord always. Bowed down, actually, is the word, I think, Vandanam, which symbolizes surrender. So, I will open it up for anyone to comment or share your thoughts as you read this passage. Saira. So as no one is talking, maybe I will keep on saying something, but please interrupt me and say.
Sairam,
I
would like to know what is constantly prostrating before the Lord. That part, if you clarified a little more details when you are saying it. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Constantly mean, I think, always.
Can you do prostrating all the time?
I think you have asked a question, maybe I will open it up for others. How can we practice prostrating all the time? Can others share your thoughts, please? I think physically, sister, there are people who do this as a practice also. I think, there's some people do what's called Anga Pradakshinam and things like that. Buddhists do this kind of practice. They basically bow down every couple of feet. and that's some sort of sadhana which people do. People go around the temple premises also, bowing down. I think it's a practice to remind ourselves. But you're right, we cannot constantly physically bow down. But I think what we do physically is supposed to symbolize what we should do mentally. As Swami says, see, I think we can't bow down to everyone, but we can see the Lord in everyone and bow down to that Lord which we imagine, or at this point in time we can't see maybe. So we have to mentally prostrate to that Lord. I think that's what Swami is meaning. I think the Indian greeting of Namaskaram or Vanakkam or whatever is actually an expression of that bowing down to the Lord. Even Swami says, even saying Sai Ram to anyone, or even when we say Sai Ram, it's just should not be told mechanically, but we should see the Lord, Swami, in the other person, and we should acknowledge the presence of Swami in the other person. That's what Sai Ram actually means when we tell someone Sai Ram. That itself is bowing down. I think so. That means we have to constantly remind ourselves that the Lord is everywhere and pray to. I think that's also the reason, in India, especially in India, I guess, I don't know about other countries, everything is prayed to. If you're going to drive your car, you pray to the car. If you're going to dance, you pray to the ground. Every item, people, before cooking, they will pray to the implements which they're going to use, because they think it is given by God, and God is in some way present in all of them. And that acknowledgement and prostration, or praying mentally, I think is what Swami means. By constantly prostrating before the Lord. With humility and purity, as Swami says. Others can chime in and say whatever you would like to share, please.
Sai Ram, this is Yasavanti. Vandanam literally means salutations. This is Swami said this, but it has various implications. It means praising the Lord, offering our gratitude by the way of prayer, and it indicates acceptance and appreciation of everything as His grace. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to add, please?
Ram Vani. So, this bowing down tradition is not unique only to us. I think if you have been to St. Joseph's Church in Quebec, where the Orthodox people would climb up the steps on their knees. And also even there are some other places where the last walk of Christ, I think there's a name, I don't know what, every station, again, people would walk around in their knees. So I think that some sort of bodily, challenge yourself bodily to kind of feel the pain is one thing. I would like to share something on the point before on Vandanam. This week, I don't know how many of you saw that article. There was an article on Radio Sai about Sai Gita's last moments and Swami. It was a very short video, and Swami was so repeatedly emotional talking about her, talking about the last moments. It was very difficult to see Swami crying or getting all choked up. I'm just reminded how for the elephant, here is Swami, getting so visibly upset and sad, but also in the Gajendra Moksha, where another elephant was stuck in the pond and was caught by a crocodile, and then he cried out to Lord Vishnu, and how Lord Vishnu came running to save that elephant too. So if God responds to the cry of an elephant, He certainly will respond to a genuine cry from humans. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Sai Ram.
One says that holding the hands and doing the preparation of the Vandanam. That we are praying with the heart, wholeheartedly praying that, and we can all the time we can pray to God by heart. No, we can do anything, everything, but the heart is always pray to God. No, that's the meaning I guess.
Thank you, brother. In this sentence where Swami is talking about folding the palms together and offering salutations, means we all pray with our hands folded, and Swami has gone on to explain what the symbolism of that is. Each hand has 5 fingers, and the 5 fingers in each hand come together, so the 10 fingers come together. Which Swami says the karmendriyas are 5 and the jnanendriyas are 5. So that is what Swami explains in the sentence following that. That means offering to the Lord all the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. So it is not the physical hands coming together, but the physical hands coming together should remind us that we have to join the karmendriyas and the jnanendriyas. That is all the 5 senses which we are using to see this world. Those should be offered to the Lord. That's what Swami is. So Swami is even expanding on the symbolism of why we hold our hands and pray. I think it sort of extends from the previous point, where Swami, once you offer to the Lord the 5 senses, they should not be used for anything else. I think we discussed that as well. So I think that's what Akrura was well known for. And as Swami says, he could get the vision of Vishnu everywhere. So he could see God everywhere through this worship. If no one has anything to add or say, maybe we can proceed to the next slide.
Saira, is this Akrura is the person who ran the chariot for Krishna? There is some Saradi for Krishna in the name of Akrura. When he visited, do you remember that in a speech Baba said that the chariot was when Akrura was taking Krishna in the chariot and the gopis blocked, and why are you taking him like that? So is the same person or different? You know anything?
It's the same person, brother.
Okay.
Anyone else would like to?
Yes, I thought that is Vidura who had the association with the gopis, and Akrura is the one that Kamsa sent to bring him.
Yes, that's what he is referring to.
Yeah.
Sister Bhavani is. That's what. See, Akrura is the family priest of sort. So Kamsa sends him because he was sure if no one else went, then Krishna may not come. So he sent Akrura. Yeah. Somebody said yes. Can somebody tell the story, please?
Sairam, that is right. Akrura is Hamchand's minister. He was one of the minister. He was sympathizer of Sri Krishna, and Hamchan he sent this minister to bring back Krishna to his palace. Thank you, Sairam.
That's good. Yeah, thank you.
But he was a great devotee. His association with Krishna is much more than that, though I think that's what people remember most of the time. But Akrura was a great devotee of Krishna, and that's why when he came, Krishna accompanied him, and that's what Swami is referring to.
So with your explanation with holding 2 palms, we understand the paragraph very well. So total surrender is mentioned here as one of the very important points for Vandanam, correct?
Yes.
Total surrender.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think with this current health situation, crisis going on, instead of, handshaking and hugging and all, I think the traditional way of greeting will come back to fashion. You can even see some world leaders sort of doing that.
Okay. So if there's no more comments, I think Sister Kalyan, you can read the next slide.
Dasyam, service. Hanuman is the great exemplar of this type of devotion. Concentrating on the name of Rama and rendering service to Rama were Hanuman's preoccupation all the time. He was no ordinary being. He was a master of the 64 sciences and arts. Rama described him as a hero of peace who possessed immense strength and wisdom. In everything he handled, Hanuman would examine whether it had Rama's name on it. If it was not there, he would discard even a precious gem as a useless piece of stone. While building the bridge to Lanka, Hanuman hurled rocks into the sea, uttering the names of Rama, and they rose to the surface. The letters Ra and Ma were written on separate stones, and when they were thrown into the sea, they joined together on the surface, and thus the bridge was formed.
Thank you, Sister. Anyone would like to share something, please? Or
Sure. So basically, like for service, this we can relate it to our current. Like we can consider the service as our offering to Swami because when we serve, like it helps us to like gain good qualities, and it helps us to become better in terms of our discipline and in terms of our and we become better in terms of morality. And Hanuman, she of course was a great example of this service. So service is a very good way of developing our devotion to God.
thank you, Sivalan. Anyone else would like to say something, please?
Sairam, brothers and sisters, in this particular dashyam, even though in the translation we put maybe Swami or someone else have put in the bracket service, it should be the selfless service. Otherwise, or it is really, when we say service, it's really meant by selfless service. Because service, it's a range of service from the maybe different degree of services, but dashyam is really meant by selfless service. Maybe Hanuman, when I relate the story to the dashyam, Hanuman's service is selfless with 100% devotion or belief in Rama, and with everything, with the full devotion, he put the service. That's why it's even the Ra and Ma, it sticks together, and the stones were joined together, and the bridge was formed. So this service is really meant by selfless service, isn't it? Or it's really a different meaning, or
I'll open it up to anyone who wants to comment on this, please. because no one is opening up. So, see, in this world, actually, Sairam, please go ahead. Sairam Vasudha, please.
I think
we can't hear you, sister.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I think what they were trying to convey here is probably that Hanuman's devotion was totally so selfless, so unyielding, and ever present, and he's really the embodiment of the karma yogi, because he did worship Rama, but not just by sitting in a by the side of the river or just meditating or praying. He actually worked, and he did like the karma yogam. He's considered the embodiment of that. Of course, he was actually a sacred kind of primate, which means like he had that divine destiny in him. So everything he did was also like how they all turned out to be miracles. But it's the unconditional kind of devotion combined with the passion of.
Sister, actually, you're breaking up. I mean, it was not very clearly heard. This, whatever you're saying, something wrong with your mic setting, I guess, or the internet connection.
Yeah, it's cut off in between, and it's not clear. Even though the bits and pieces we can hear, but not as a full sentence. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, this is Rajesh.
All I was saying was Hanuman was the embodiment of karma yoga and total unconditional devotion combined with passion for seva. Be passionate about it and evident.
Thank you, sister. I guess you have, again, I think it's still not, we heard your points, but I don't know whether we are still continuing to talk. Anyone else would like to add, please?
Sairam. Sairam. It is that which gives maximum happiness to the devotee, the dashyam. But by itself, it's not seva, it's an attitude. So it is a willingness of the devotee to serve. That's what now Hanuman is doing. The devotee considers himself as an instrument and becomes an able instrument in the hands of his beloved Lord. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Sairam, I can understand he's doing a selfless service and devotion and everything, but why Rama is describing him as a hero of peace? That part I didn't get it. Could anyone can clarify that, please?
I guess it had to do with the fact that Hanuman wanted to because he always tried to do it like in a peaceful manner, I guess. And I guess if you go back to the Ramayana, I guess we can remember like how I guess because I assume they wanted to like build a bridge between the mainland, of course, being India, and Lanka, which is now today's Sri Lanka, I guess. And also we can recall how Hanuman, I guess he was like being a very humble devotee to Rama, and how he wanted to like, I guess, stay calm, I guess, in these circumstances, I guess. I'm not sure, because we have to go back to the stories to better understand.
Sairam, anyone else would like to add, please?
Sairam, Raju. Sairam, here Hanuman, he didn't have any separate identity as an individual, and he was completely absorbed in the form and name of Rama. So there is no separate Hanuman as another separate individual. That is the most unique expression of Hanuman, because there, in one instance, we come to know that when he, in order to show his devotion, he tore open his chest, and when he opened the chest part skin, tore open the, and Rama and Sita was shown in the middle of his chest. So that sort of, so there is no separate Hanuman there. You are here. So there's such a high devotion. There is a unity. It shows that one unity, individuality, oneness also there. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, this is Sister Anandi, because if Rama described him as a hero of victory or hero of devotion, it would have been much more meaningful, but there must be a special reason why Rama described as a hero of peace, because even in this Ramayana war between the Rama and Ravana, it was a lot of disaster force in the Ravana side and everything. So if it is rather than saying hero of victory or hero of devotion, Sister Aruna's question, why it is meant here by hero of peace, because Hanuman always denoted for the hero of devotion. So that's my understanding, Sister Aruna's question in this particular context. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Sister. Sairam, Sister. So I maybe I will try. If anyone has something to say, you can interrupt me. So I think Swami starts out saying that Hanuman is a great exemplar of this type of devotion. So he's primarily a devotee. And then Swami says he's always concentrating on the name of Rama and rendering service to Rama. So he was only serving Rama. He was not doing social service. Because sometimes we think, we are doing selfless service. Sometimes we say these words without understanding what the meaning of selfless itself, because if we are people who are not selfless, in our daily life, if we are continuously not selfless, our actions or even service activities cannot be called selfless. So in this case, Hanuman only served Rama, no one else. He may have done different things. And then Swami goes on to say he was a master of, so that means he was a very accomplished person. Then Swami goes on to say that he was a hero of peace. Generally, when we say peace, we think, two people not fighting is peace. But Swami generally calls peace is our peace of mind. Our mind should be at peace. Even though Hanuman may have fought, Hanuman may have burned down Lanka, he did not do in a fit of anger or anything like that. He did it as a service to Lord Rama himself and a service to Sita. So in that sense, Swami calls him peace, because that is why he has immense strength and wisdom, as Swami says. He is able to deal with any situation in a calm manner. Otherwise, when he was, the thing is, Ravana's court, he was tied up. But he was able to do much because of his being able to be at peace with himself in a state of peaceful mind. And I think that's what Swami is referring to, from what I understand. It may not be correct, but that's what I can think of based on whatever Swami has said. For Swami, every devotee who's always thinking of him is in a state of peace all the time. Sairam.
Sairam, I just wanted to say that Dasyam means some slavery, that like totally a slave to Rama. So Dasyam, the meaning. So and also I remember this the gem story also, that after the coronation, Hanuman was awarded with the gem rosary
necklace.
necklace. Sita gave that necklace to him, and that necklace was handed over to her by her father, Janaha. So even Hanuman was biting that each gem to see whether he can hear the name of Rama. So he couldn't hear the Rama, so he bit every piece and throw it away. So such a person who even his hair is always reverberating the name Rama. No? So totally absorbed in Rama, total slave to Rama. So he will inevitably have peace. Okay, peace. And it is a very good thing to note, as Arun Sarna pointed out, to Baba is to say him as hero is peace is very good phrase that we draw attention to. Thank you, Zaira.
Thank you, Brother Sivadas. Anyone else would like to?
Saira, this is Bhavani. I would like to share something. So, as part of our family prayers, we would also chant Sri Rama Jayam. And Amma most times reminds us saying, chanting Rama's name is a 2-for-1 benefit. Because not only it gets Rama's attention, anytime Rama is chanted, Hanuman, no matter where in the world, he rushes his hymns and is around that place saying, oh, who's calling my Rama? Let me participate too. So this way, chanting Rama, you get shield. So, sorry, what I was trying to say is, when we pray to Rama, it's also like getting Hanuman there also. So, just want to share that.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
I think service with a good intention, with humble, only thinking God, praising God. Swami says, service to man is service to God. So when it should not have any trace of ego, or I am doing it, or this is for Swami, or this is for God that we serve through someone. Also, as brother said, Hanuman did not expect anything in return. Service should be rendered selfless, that is without expecting anything in return. And he was rewarded with the gem necklace. He threw it away. So totally surrendered, ego, no trace of ego, selfless, without expecting anything in return. That should be the service to man, is service to God. Atma level, at the Atma level.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Saira. Anyone else would like to say something, please?
Sir, I have a question. Regarding peace, because I remember you telling me about this. Would peace be considered as applying to the world as well? Like I remember you raised about how peace is like basically like it's like inner peace as well. Would it also apply for the world as well in terms of, because it's also one of the 5 human values?
Okay, thank you, Sivadas. I think there's one sentence. I think we all should take a good note of that. In what Swami says, in everything he handled, Hanuman would examine whether it had Rama's name on it. If it was not there, he would discard even a precious gem as a useless piece of stone. Even in rendering service, sometimes we think we can go out and do social service. We will not mention Swami's name and things like that. But Hanuman was someone, even when he went to Ravana's court, when he was asked, "Who are you?" He said, "I am Lord Rama's servant." And even when Sita gave something, when he found that Rama's name was not there in any form, he didn't want it. So we should understand that, if we think we are doing service in the Sai organization, the name of Sai cannot be ignored. It has to be there, and we should believe that we are serving Swami. Because there are some activities sometimes we conduct where we don't want to even mention Swami's name. Because the reason we tell ourselves is that others may not like it or something like that. Means we don't have to force others to pray to Swami. But I don't think we should in any way be ashamed or even have doubt that people may not accept it. Because we may think that people will accept us, but people will not accept Swami. That kind of thinking goes against the grain of devotion itself, even faith in Swami. Swami as the doer and we are the servants. And I think it is very, very important. We may think we are doing lots of service and we can fool ourselves into thinking that we are Rama, we are Hanuman. We are not. Because Swami has always said that there are so many social service organizations in this world. If nothing, they also want to feel like ego satisfaction that they are doing service. But what Hanuman did was completely not that. He only served Rama. Whatever he did, he served Rama. And he became a great devotee. He was able to help the world in many ways, even with a sense of devotion. I think that is why Swami has particularly mentioned this aspect. And Swami says there are people who who don't want to wear vibhuti even because others may think something. He says that kind of devotion doesn't take us anywhere. If we really mean it, we should live it. And Hanuman lived it. And I think Swami just wants to make sure that such a devotee, when he threw rocks and stones, they floated if it has to. So I think, such a great example Hanuman is. So, anyone else you want to add something, please go ahead. Saira.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Sister Vasudha, yes.
Not necessarily in the context of Asyamat devotion, but also Mother Teresa was somebody who really performed service with immense amount of dedication. To the point where she was actually from Eastern Europe. She learned the local Bengali language, to be able to speak the same language as the people she was serving. She changed her, in the church they are given a set of clothing called the habit. She modified that to be like a sari. And again, to be able to identify with the people that she was serving. So I just want to say that
Sister, again you are breaking up. We can't hear sections of your sentences, please.
Maybe I will.
You log out and log back in, I guess. I don't know. Sorry about it. Saira, anyone else would like to add something, please?
Brother, sorry to ask you again some question here. In regards to the letters Ra and Ma, is there any reason that they have written in two separate stones? Is there a reason to easy construction, or Is there is a meaning to it? Why they are writing Ra in one stone and the Ma on one stone?
Yeah, so anyone else would like to say know the story or share it?
So I'm sorry, Sairam.
Yes.
I think it came from Namah Shivaya and Narayana. The Ma is a very powerful syllable in Namah Shivaya, and Ra is similarly the important syllable from Lord Narayana. That's what I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're okay, right? But I think the question is, sister's question was why it was written in two separate stones. The story goes like this, sister. So in Ramakatha Swami explains it. So what happens is when they were building the bridge from India, Rameshwaram to Lanka, so they had to come up with a way of building the bridge. So first they started writing Rama on each single stone and rock and throwing it. What was happening was they were all floating in different directions. So then Rama suggested them that they write Ra in one stone and put Ma in the other. So what happens is the Ra and Ma always together. So they stuck together and stayed together. So that's why they were written in different stones, each letter. So because of that, all the stones came together and stayed together so that they could, it was an engineering technique used because the name of Rama, when chanted, the Ra and Ma came together in the rocks. So that's why the Vanaras were supposed to have chanted Rama as they walked also, because that's the power of the name. So Swami has talked about this so often that the name is very, very important, and that because of that, even when service activities were conducted, we always used to sing bhajans, because Swami said that bhajan has an impact on the type of service you do, and you need to believe in it. So each letter in a name means a lot, and I think that's the reason. So the Ramakatha Swami, that's the reason that the stones stay together, because otherwise they just float away.
Okay, thank you so much.
So that's one reason we also supposed to sing bhajans together, so we stay together also. We don't go our way.
Sai Ram, Brother Arun, is there a particular reason for us to say the Sai greeting Sai Ram instead of, Sai Krishna or Sai Shiva or something? Any particular reason?
So the thing is, the practice of saying Sai Ram originated in the 50s or 40s among devotees. And I think it's again based on something Swami must have said. Because Swami always says Rama is the name of Atma Rama, the God. When he resides in our hearts, he is Rama. There are lots of significance with the name Rama. It is not only the name of Rama, the name itself is very powerful, because Sri Ramachandra tells, because he was given the name Rama, that he became so great, so well known, and that gave him so much good qualities. So the name Rama, or the mantra name Rama, has a lot of significance. So there are many Rama Navami discourses of Swami, where Swami has spoken very highly of the mantra Ram. And as Brother Suri Kumar already said, because it's supposed to have the Bijaksharam from Namo Narayana and Namah Shivaya, which again are supposed to be very mantras, which are, it's not necessarily powerful. They have the ability to purify us. And Swami has said, means I will just simply say something from one of Swami's discourses. Swami says, Rama has three sounds in that word. One is Ra, the other one is A, and the third one is Ma. It has the principle of fire, sun, and moon. And these are supposed to purify us in many ways, and so on. So that's where the name Rama was given a lot of importance. There are many discourses where Swami has told the devotees, you all call each other Sai Ram and things like that. So Swami has, encouraged us seeing each other and recognizing the Atma Rama, or the Rama who is the Lord within us, which Swami calls as Atma Rama. And that's how the name Sai Ram became prevalent and encouraged by Swami. I hope my answer satisfies you to some extent. We can talk about Ramanama. Maybe we can take a discourse of Ramanavami where Swami is talking about Ramanama and read that once for one of our future study circles.
Sairam Nandani, you mentioned it, but you didn't highlight it. That the name Rama was before Rama was born, and in the scriptures already. So you mentioned it, but it wasn't highlighted. So yeah, thank you.
Sairam. So if there's no other comment, maybe we'll move on to the next one, please. Sairam. Sister Kalyani, you can read the next section.
Each hair of Hanuman was echoing the name of Rama. He was a devotee who remembered Rama at all times, whether in joy or sorrow. He had no sense of ego. He had given up all feelings of mine and thine. When the Rakshasas asked him in Lanka who he was, he firmly declared, I am a dasa of the Lord of Kosala, Rama. In all situations, he described himself as a servant of Rama.
Thank you, sister. I think some of this we have already, at least I was referring to some of this. If anyone else has something to add, please go ahead.
I just need one more, please. He had given up all feelings of mine and thine. What? I didn't understand that part.
See, the mine and thine principle is, mine is mama karma, as Swami says, what belongs to us and what belongs to you. So that distinction of, this belongs to me, that belongs to you, which is the normal human behavior when we identify self. In our life, we think this is my house, my car, my money, and things like that. The same way, once we have that thought, we think something else belongs to somebody else. Hanuman did not have that distinction of something which belongs to him. But once you give up everything which is yours, everything only belongs to God. And so that's the mine and that separation between human beings. I think that's what it refers to, sister. But if I will ask anyone else if they have something to say.
It's actually very good sentence, but it is still not highlighted actually. So thine is yours, so mine is mine. So the distinction, when I say this is my car and my house and my wife, it automatically implies in regard to other person that this is that is your house, that is your wife, that is your children. So the mine and thine, my and his or you. So there's the two things, first person and second person. So that's a division. So he doesn't have that division. So so inevitably, then he will have the peace also, no? When there is no mind and that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
But he explained not that. Okay, thank you.
Sairam Balan speaking here. I think it strengthened the fact that we should not give way to attachment. Mine and yours it explains belongingness. So that means Hanuman, for example, they say he didn't own anything of his own. Everything which he had was Rama's. So I think it is attachment which is significant there in that point. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you very much.
Saira.
Yes, brother.
when we are doing that service, we don't have to order for the service. No, we have to do it on the work on the God's name. There's no. When we are doing it on the selfless service, it's go to Swami and God's name. No. Another thing that there's that hair of Hanuman was also says the Lord's name. No, that the brother was saying the story that Sita was the monkey mind has come again on that time that Hanuman saying that I'm doing selfless service to God. My each hair also saying the Lord's name, and he pull his one hair and put it down. No, that the hair also saying the name in Rama again and again. That's it. When we are doing that Swami's work, the wholeheartedly we have to do that. There's no self, there's no expectation there. That will go to Swami. That we cannot use the God's name there, Swami's name there, but our work should be mentioned our Lord's name there. No? We cannot mention our Lord's name, but our work should be mentioned the Lord's name there. That's my saying that. I know.
Yeah, but I think here we are looking at I think what Swami is showing us as a good example which we have to follow. And so that's the last sentence says, in all situations, he described himself as a servant of Rama. So he described, if anyone asks who you are, he was not. So the thing is, we may be doing various things, but we should understand that is that's the state to which we should evolve. Because he really did not, that's why if the Lord is not there, he was not there. Because he was there only because the Lord was there. And the reason why this hair thing comes up is, I think Sita was offended that a precious necklace which she had presented to Hanuman was being thrown away. So when she asked him, what are you trying to do? He was biting the pearls in that necklace, and he was also shaking it near his ear apparently, and then throwing it away. So he basically destroyed the entire necklace. And then Sita asked, why did you do that? So he said, I was looking to see whether there was Rama in it anywhere. And then she says, when we are throwing away, then you have a body. How can we? That also doesn't have Rama. It is only then he pulls out the hair and shows it to Sita and says, listen to it. And that hair is supposed to have said Rama, Rama. So that means that he was a devotee who constantly was totally engrossed in Rama. He chanted his name so much that every cell in his body was chanting the name. So such a devotee is our ideal we have to follow. And I think that's the reason which Swami has gone into such length and described his characteristics so we can follow. Saira. Okay, Saira, if there's no one saying, I think we can go to the next slide, Sister Kalyani.
Qualities of a real devotee. Those who call themselves devotees these days put on the sacred ash on their foreheads while going to a temple and rub it off on their return. When they are near Swami, they behave like devotees. But when they go to a place where religion is in disfavor, they explain away their visits to Puttaparthi in a casual manner and declare that they are not devotees of Swami. What value is it to be attached to the devotion of such a pusillanimous person? Real devotion consists in courageously standing up for your faith anywhere at any time. Hanuman was such a courageous and steadfast devotee. By his devoted service to the Lord, he redeemed his life and became immortal.
Thank you very much, Sister. Sairam, everyone. Anyone would like to see this and understand what.
Sir, so basically, I guess what Swami is trying to teach us here is about full-time devotion, because we cannot be doing like having part-time devotion and then doing something else. So I guess this is what Swami wants to teach us about real full-time devotion, about being humble devotees, humble followers and devotees.
Thank you, Shobha.
Sairam, can you hear me now?
Yes, sister.
I think what he's trying to say is there is no room for hypocrisy and double standards in true devotion. There's no place, time, occasion if to choose. It's choose and pick as you want. Devotion. These double standards actually expose the hypocrisy and convenience of the devotion. True devotion is not meant to be convenience or getting you some favors or things like that. Meant to be all pervading and just totally consuming you as every moment.
Sairam, Sister Vasudha, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I think you're fading away. We can't really hear you very well. I think what will help is maybe you have to bring the mouthpiece closer to you, or maybe there's two lines open from your house. Maybe that is what creating the echo. So I feel we are really missing what you're trying to say. So we need to, solve for that.
Sorry, I might type it.
Okay, sister, why don't you type it? We'll read out. Thank you very much.
Sai Ram, this is the Vani.
Yes.
So you know how Swami says mind is capable of being a mad monkey that's drunk and bitten by a scorpion. So that's how low it can get. But here's Hanumanji saying, no, it can rise to the highest also. So how he's saying, I think maybe he might be mad at us for using him as an example.
I don't think you'll be mad. As long as we benefit from it, I guess.
No, I meant as in monkey, saying like, oh, you're calling me a monkey, but I'm better than you. Like, I meant it that.
Yes. Sairam, anyone else would like to add something, please? Okay, so from what this we understand, if Swami has told us to take up service as a path of sadhana, so until we at least strive to become like Hanuman, we have to say that we are not really doing service as sadhana. I think that's why somebody put it in brackets also as Dasya. So with those words, we will go to the next section. Sairam, Sister Kalyani, please go ahead and read.
Sairam, brother, in this, there is a question I have.
Okay, go back. Okay, yes, sister.
Okay, so they're saying about that wearing the ash on forehead and while they're coming out of the temple. But there are some other places you cannot wear it and go, because it's that part, I think sometimes you are creating some people to say something about what you are wearing and all, right? Those kind of unnecessary discussions comes, and sometimes you cannot convince them, right? In that cases, you have to especially in this country, who doesn't know why we are wearing vibhuti, the ash, they have to take it out, right? That is something is not seem to be incorrect. I wanted to understand from others also what you all will do when you go outside, when with the vibhuti in the morning when you pray. So take usually I hope everyone taking out or leaving and going.
Sairam, actually, I am taking out. I am Shivadas. Because in the office environment, it cannot be acceptable, I feel. But Bhavan is talking here about this Indian situation. But Indian situation, even in Indian Sri Lankan situation, we had behaved like this, as Bhavan indicated. For example, when we go to a party or some like places like that, we removed it, and so we are not the real devotion. That's Baba indicating. Our devotion is not steady. Not if we have firm devotion, firm faith in our Lord and our philosophy and our following up, then at all circumstances we should be same, wearing the vibhuti, So naturally, yeah, that is, we don't have a real devotion. We have to accept in our back at home, if we had behaved like that, we have to accept that we lacked devotion. That's my humble opinion, but I did the same thing. Thank you,
But
Saira.
I just wanted to add one more thing. Just putting a vibhuti itself will not say that you are a devotee also. So it has to come from the heart. So there's two things we have to remember. In this case, taking out vibhuti, it says it will label you as not a devotee, because it's something we have to go with the flow, kind of like what they expect. Something like to be like understand from each other. It will be nice for us to like keep in mind too. So that's the reason I'm asking. Thank you, Saira.
So okay, please go ahead. Someone has something.
This is Janani here. I had a slightly different take on this, and I think some of the other speakers may have touched upon it. Rather than seeing the courage as the courage to wear the symbol externally, I saw it as kind of the steadfastness and courage to always remember your the deity of your choice. Yesterday was Eid, so remember our Muslim brothers and sisters who are actually pretty noteworthy in this department, right? Wherever in the world, whatever time it is, most devout Muslims will just roll out their prayer rug and will pray. And for them, it's a very sacred tenet of their faith. For us, coming from sort of a more Advaitic kind of a background, it can mean that you hold on to the steadfastness, like thinking of God. So, for example, in a professional situation, perhaps your memory of God or your memory of your principles means that you don't drink, for example. So you can bravely say that you don't drink or you don't eat meat, and people will respect that. So that's the way I saw that.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I think I'll just read out what Sister Vasudha has written, because she has taken time to write. So she says, true devotee will not show double standards or hypocrisy. Ash, kumkum, special clothes are external indicators of devotion. The internal indicators are more important, I think. Okay, that's what Sister has written. I think it all boils down to the fact, why do we wear vibhuti? We should. I think if we don't understand why we wear vibhuti, wearing vibhuti itself is a mechanical exercise. If we think we are wearing Swami when we wear vibhuti, it's a completely different perspective. If you think it is some makeup thing, it's just painting something on our face so it looks good, I guess it also serves a purpose like that. But ultimately, if we think it is so sacred that we have to put it on our forehead, when we go out into the workplace, if we think that is going to be a disadvantage, then we have more faith in the people whom we meet than Swami. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. Whether we like it or not, We need to see, the thing is, even if you're unable to practice it, it's okay. But we should call it for what it is. So that is why Swami is specifically saying this. Actually, these talks are not only for India, it's all over. If you're a Hindu and you are in this country, we should, like Jews wear their skull cap, no problem. So there are religious, like Sikh religious people wear their turban. Though they fight, even they have gone up to the Supreme Court to fight it. So the thing is, ultimately, people can say they're fundamentalists or things like that. But I think here the point is, if we really believe in the power of vibhuti, then we will wear it. If we don't have faith in vibhuti, the vibhuti is of no use. If you are sick, if you take the vibhuti, it will not work. But if you have faith that the vibhuti is everything, then the vibhuti will work. So I think sometimes we need to cultivate the faith in even these aspects of. That's why Swami says there are many people who need hospital because they don't believe in the vibhuti. So I have constructed a hospital. But there are devotees who will take only vibhuti because they have so much faith. So ultimately, it all boils down to: is it an external expression, or is it our prasadam? Do we accept vibhuti as prasadam and wear it, or do we think it is just an expression of our devotion? Completely different. So here what Swami is talking about is accepting vibhuti as prasadam of God. And so because of that, if Swami has given me vibhuti, I will wear it. Today, if we go and Swami materializes vibhuti and gives it to her, I will wear it. I will go anywhere in the world wearing it because I know that Swami has given it. I mean, the thing is, it is not illegal to wear vibhuti even in this country, but it's so ingrained in us that we want to go with the flow. Let other, so that people don't think that we are weird. So the thing is, to some extent, we don't give the importance which Swami has to be given in our own devotion. As I think Brother Sivabalan said, it's about full-time devotee versus part-time devotee. So it is the amount of faith. So I think if we think that it is just an external decoration piece, then maybe we can remove it. I think that's what it was. I'm sorry I have taken so much time but I think these are things which we need to understand for ourselves. So we can say we all want to become better devotees. I think that should be the goal of attending the study circle and learning what Swami is saying. So we can question ourselves, are we really believing in Swami? Are we really believing the things which we do? Okay, sorry, Sai Ram. I will stop here. Anyone else would like to add, please?
Sai Ram, Arun.
Yes.
Miss Naraja here. Yes. Even to do the things like that, you need a lot of guts, especially in the Western country, to put the vibhuti. People are just looking at you and asking you sorts of questions, and people, it's not an easy thing for everybody to practice in big offices and all that. I know it's a correct thing to do, but you need some guts to do that too.
Yes, and you are right, because that's the sentence below. After that, Swami says, real devotion consists in courageously standing up for your faith anywhere at any time.
Yeah.
So you are right. It is not easy, but we should strive for that.
Because I used to go to school with just a little bit of vibhuti, and they used to ask, "What is this white dot?" So it's not easy to explain, and some people even wipe it off. You have this white dot. So you need a lot of courage, and then gradually people get used to that fact that you have this on your forehead.
Yes, Auntie.
Just to add to your points, I fully agree. Canada's defense minister wears a turban. He sits in all the countries and NATO meetings and all. There's no questions. I do wear vibhuti every time I wash my face or take a bath. And I straightly go to my prayer room and put vibhuti. But I don't, whenever I go to work or outside, I don't have that courage to remove it. It's a divine protection in my belief. and I don't put the big 3 lines, just one small mark. Throughout the day, I think it's a protection. But if someone asks me, I'll say it's. I don't. People don't ask me generally, but if they ask me, I will just tell them. It's my way of doing things, like other religions. It's our belief, right? And also looking at the Paramam Pavitram, Baba's Vibhutim, looking at the English version and meaning, it says Swami's holy creation for the divine protection, which also grants us liberation. Those who are Tamil, there are so many Mandramadaniru, Kanaviniyadaniru, Vedathil. So all those precious meaning of Vibhuti, putting Vibhuti, which reminds us the divine protection. I think we will continue wearing it. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother. Just to talk about myself, I was not as courageous, let me put it that way. But I have a colleague of mine who is a Brahmin from India. He wears vibhuti and comes every day. People ask him, and now people have gotten used to him. And his wife also wears vibhuti and works at the bank. And they're successful people. People have accepted them. So I think he's an inspiration for me for a few things like this. Realizing that this person has total guts and courage to do what he believes firmly in. So there are people who practice it, and I should say I have learned some from them as well. Thank you very much.
Actually, I just wanted to add something. It's slightly amusing. You're all talking about being in Canada. My father was a professor in Puttaparthi for 20 odd years. And in Puttaparthi, every morning, we're Tamram, so he has this morning Sandhyavandanam or whatever. After that, the Patta Patta Vibhuti, the 3-line Vibhuti is what he would wear, which was actually pretty awkward. Even for people in Puttaparthi would find it sort of funny. But people, got used to it. Because Puttaparthi, you just put the one dot or whatever, right? So what I'm trying to say is there are many cultural practices, and especially in a country as diverse as India, we have so many, depending on where you are, how you dress is very, very different. But like to Arunona's point, people just get used to it. It's just your particular brand of quote-unquote crazy, right? People just get used to it after a while.
Okay, thank you, Janani. Sister
Sai Ram.
Okay, Sai Ram, please go ahead.
It's Bhavani. So growing up, I was so embarrassed seeing my mom wearing a big pottu vibhuti. But now I've gotten much older, much little bit wiser. The few times she has forgotten, I would remind Amma saying, you're missing, just seeing that empty thing does something to me. So now what I do is yes, I put on my vibhuti, I pray, and I do take it off, but not fully. It's like if you look long and hard enough, you can see a little bit of ash in there. And a few times my work colleagues have asked me, so I've said, I prayed this morning. And then most of them, they'll say, oh, please pray for us also. So now, especially these days with all these Zoom meetings, I've even put a little bit of kumkum, and they said, oh, what's this? Is this what we see when people in the public? So I've gotten, it does take a lot of courage, but I'm kind of working on it little at a time. But what's interesting is I'll do it with my work friends, but I will not do it during my team meeting. I don't know why, but it's something that I'm observing of myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. Sister Vasudha has written some comments. I will read out, please. Ash Wednesday is practiced by some Christians. They wear ashes and do fasting before Easter. Catholic nuns use ash to mark the cross on the forehead to remember the crucifixion. So there are many Christians during the Easter time. They wear the ash and come to, on Ash Wednesday especially, they come to work with their ash, and they will say today's Ash Wednesday. Not everyone, but there are many Catholics who do that. So Sister Vasudha says, from dust you are, to dust thou shalt return. That's from the Bible, I think.
No, just to add one more point. In fact, some places we are respected that we are following our beliefs.
Yes, very much so, brother. I think it's this. Sorry, the study circle. Sorry, I will just make one statement. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. Maybe. I think the whole purpose of study circle is to see where we are lacking and how we can improve. We may not see if we have all reached that state. We don't even need to study. But in this case, we are studying so that we can slowly. Maybe it takes so much courage, effort, but at least we know what we should work on. And I think that's the whole purpose of study circle. And so hopefully we are learning, and we will try. It may be slow and long process, but we should try, and we should know what we are striving towards. I think that's the whole idea. Thank you very much. Brother, sorry for cutting you. Please go ahead.
Right on. I am sharing the deeply all the time. If I'm going outside also, that I am believing God 100%. That's the same way I am believing that we view the two. I can give any answer. Anybody asks question, I can give the answer. That's my giving the answer for the Vibhuti.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Shall we?
Sairam, brothers and sisters, one little point. It's about the Vibhuti, whether it's a shame to wear the external world, the outside of home or our community. Just as an example, quickly, for the past 23 years, I am working in my work environment. Almost 23 years. This year is my 25th year, but 23 years, I was the one and only maybe Indian or Sri Lankan background. And early in the morning when I leave home, with my prayer, I always put the Vibhuti, and a couple of days they asked, very gently, very lovingly, they asked, what is in your forehead, Anandi? You smile and everything. It's like you are a very happy person, and they never ever taken this as a shameful thing or anything. They give me the utmost respect, and they did everything. That's why from the day one onwards up until now, early in the morning when I leave home, I put the Vibhuti, and I wouldn't smash or they rub it off to they always respect these days. They know what is Vibhuti, what is the meaning and everything. That's all I wanted to tell my brothers and sisters. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Sairam, everyone. So it's about 4:50 now. So our time is up. We had a very fruitful discussion about Dasyam. We will continue with the others next week. I think so. We can all go back and see how we can strive to be like Hanuman. It's not easy for us. We cannot achieve it in a few days or overnight. But at least we know where we should work and go towards. With those thoughts, we will close today's study circle with Samasta Loka and Shanti. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam.
Sairam, brother.
Sairam.